This is True Crime Tradies. Listener discretion is advised. Pussies.
Hey everybody, welcome back to True Crime Tradies. I am JB, and as always, I've got my partner in crime with me, Chris. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. I'm a little bit sick this week, so in case all the listeners are wondering, whoa, who is that super sexy dude? It's just me, so relax, ladies.
Yeah, you worried you were going to sound like one of those phone sex workers. Like, call me, call me now. Do you remember those ads back in the day?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I reckon it would have been the first time I saw boobs on TV. Would have been from one of those ads.
Oh, that's why you remember it so well.
Yeah, because I would have been quite young, and back then and I was always a night owl. My parents, being youngest of four, they never watched what I did. But I'd be up really late at night watching TV, and these sexy ads would come on, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, there's boobs on the TV."
Cool.
That was, yeah. Have you ever called one of those numbers?
No.
This is a safe space, Chris. You can be honest with me.
No, like even seeing them on movies and TV shows, you go, who would actually call that number?
I know.
Like it costs like $5 a minute or something like that.
Oh, it's ridiculous amounts of money.
God knows who you're talking to.
Yeah, you could be
talking to the toad
Roberta.
From, yeah, Roberta. Yeah,
you're thinking the same lines there. I went to had a get together when I was teenagers, and it was one of my good mates' house. There would have been about 15 of us there, and a couple of the guys called one of those numbers, and they would have been on the phone to this one woman for, it was a long time. I remember that.
Oh, God.
Anyway, the Monday rolls around, and our good friend who hosted the party comes in with this phone bill, and because his dad had seen it and gone berserk at him, saying, who's racked up $300 worth of phone charges on this, sexy phone number that they had called. So, yeah, $300, and we're talking in the 90s as well. And he ended up having to get all of us to sort of chip in to help pay for this bill because he was copping it from his parents. So
that's crazy.
Absolutely. Oh, no, poor guy. I felt awful for him. I'm pretty sure I didn't chip in either. I feel bad. Sorry, Ryan. But I will say that I was not involved. So I would have been upstairs playing PlayStation or some shit.
Sure.
But that leads on to a bit of a story I've got for you today, Chris.
Oh, excellent.
I want to tell you about an OnlyFans creator. Her name is Michaela. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her surname. She was a creator from California, and in April 2023, she was hired by a 56-year-old male named Michael Dale for an extreme BDSM session at his home. So he reportedly paid her more than, I think it was $11,000 US over several weeks for increasingly elaborate fetish requests. And according to investigators, Michael specifically requested things like being wrapped up in plastic like a mummy, inverted commas, like a mummy. That's what he wanted.
Okay.
It gets worse. Women's boots glued to his feet.
What?
Don't know
That's
what.
So bizarre.
Yeah, his eyes glued shut with adhesive.
What
and
happened
all
to
these
this guy as a child?
Yeah, no. Apparently all these requests were backed up by text messages and recovered from their conversations. And the reason why we know this is because apparently police alleged that during the filming, Michaela put a plastic bag over Michael's head and secured it with duct tape, leaving him there for at least 8 minutes. Detectives said that there was no evidence in the messages that Michael wanted or requested for his breathing to be obstructed in any way. So when they examined her phone, they reportedly found video showing Michael bound and wrapped in plastic while she continued to film this encounter. And one video was reportedly recorded only minutes before she called 911 after noticing he had turned blue. So paramedics managed to restore a heartbeat, but he was declared brain dead and later removed from life support. And the medical examiner ruled the cause of death was asphyxia and the manner of death was homicide. Homicide?
Oh, God.
So initially she was charged with second-degree murder, but later accepted a plea deal pleading guilty to involuntary manslaughter. And in June 2026, so it's been this month, she was sentenced to 4 years in state prison. And her defense argued that she never intended to kill him, called 911 herself, and attempted CPR once she realized something was wrong. So I feel bad for her because these are just requests, and there's a blurred line there. And we had that case with Grace Mullane.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You know,
I
with
was thinking of the
Jesse.
wrong case. I went straight to cannibal.
No, I'm thinking about sex cases where they're claiming that, oh yeah, she wanted to be strangled and then she's passed away during the act, and then using that as a defense. But this is legitimate. This is her business.
Yeah.
And she's charging people. She's making a living out of this. And unfortunately, he died. But I mean, there's got to be some sort of, I don't know, like a duty of care. Is that the right words? When you are exposing your clients to this sort of, is it punishment?
Yeah, punishment pleasure. What did the guy do for a living? Guarantee he was CEO of some company.
Surely, if you're spending that much amount of money on getting tortured like that, it usually is these.
Yeah, it's all the high-fly businessmen that are the freakiest.
Yeah. Someone in
be
stocks.
Dominated. And,
yeah. I'm going to say stocks, but I don't know. I don't know that answer. Didn't go any deeper into that one.
Oh,
but
God,
yeah,
that's
absolute crazy case, man. Now, speaking of crazy cases, what case have we got today?
Well, we've got a classic on Netflix, actually, and this one, all the listeners will know about this one here.
Surely.
And this is the Laci Peterson case.
I remember before I met Scott, Lacey telling me all these things about him. And I remember saying, as her mother, I hope he's not filling her with crap. I have learned to go with the gut feeling.
911.
My daughter convicted like foreign, 8 months pregnant.
I've had missing person cases before, but this one was bigger already.
When Lacey met Scott, she was very giddy. They were just a cute couple. They acted like newlyweds.
Scott wasn't engaging the media. We figured that eventually he would talk to us.
We're at the police station and the phone rings. This lady tells me she's been dating Scott Peterson.
So what do you want to be together with me?
The cloud of suspicion over Scott was growing every day.
Lacey believed that he was who he presented himself to be. He was getting ready to run.
He had cell phones, credit cards.
It was like a real-life soap opera happening in your living room.
This was not somebody who was waiting for Lacey to come back.
You guys didn't have any problems, marriage problems. Everything's good.
So this one starts off with on-screen text saying, in 2004, Scott Peterson was convicted of murdering his wife, Laci Peterson, and their unborn son, Connor. He maintains his innocence to this day.
They all do.
Oh, they all do, yeah. None of them come clean and go, all right, fucking you got me.
You got me.
Yeah.
I belong here.
You son of a bitch, you got me, didn't you? Good game. So we already immediately know, okay, so this is going to be the type of doco where it's going to be, okay, we're just going to give you both sides and we're going to let you decide.
Residents, police, and the FBI are searching for a missing pregnant woman.
Laci Peterson, who was reported missing by her husband Christmas Eve.
So far, the authorities are baffled and the community severely shaken.
Lacey's mum, Sharon Rocker, tells us that back in Christmas Eve 2002 in Modesto, California, Sharon was hosting Christmas Eve and Laci was going to be hosting Christmas Day. A little after 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve, Scott Peterson calls Sharon asking if she's heard from Laci. She says, no, I haven't. And Scott comes back with, well, then she's missing.
Such a hell of a conclusion to jump to, isn't it? It's like most people start with, she's probably just at the shops or something before they go straight to, she's missing. Yeah. This is before the days of mobile phones. So it's not like, oh, she's not answering the phone, I'm really worried about her. It's just, oh, she's not home, so she must be missing.
Yeah, just it fucking jump from 0 to 100 straight away.
Mm-hmm.
Scott then starts calling around all of Lacey's friends and family and telling them that she's missing. But Lacey's parents, they're not fucking around. They call the police straight away.
My son-in-law called. He was playing golf morning at 5:30. My daughter convicted Sunday morning. She's 8 months pregnant. She took her dog for a walk in the park. The dog came home with just police shot.
And the dog came back without your daughter?
Right.
Okay, what is your address, sister?
They know that she'd taken the dog for a walk that day through the park, and the dog returned with its walking lead on, but Laci never did. So that, of course, is going to be the first place they're going to start looking for her in the park. There's apparently heaps of homeless people that live down there, and it's quite muddy and steep in some areas as well. So the real concern for them right off the bat is, Lacey, she's 33 weeks pregnant at this stage, so it's not great conditions for her to be out in, especially now that it's starting to get dark as well. All of her friends and family are out there going up and down the streets, knocking on doors, going through the park in the woods, stopping and asking everybody that they can if they've seen Lacey. And within an hour, they've got flyers printed out and they're just plastering them everywhere. And the friends, they even get onto the media to try and get the word out there to try and find Lacey.
And they were so quick getting on this. So good.
Unbelievable. You'd want friends like this for sure.
Tonight, friends, family, and police are searching. They're posting flyers trying to find 26-year-old Laci Peterson. She was last seen walking her golden retriever at nearby Dry Creek Park.
It gets to around 10 p.m. and Detective Al Bracchini is brought in to take the lead. What are you giggling for, John?
Oh, yeah, this looks like broccolini.
It does. We had Detective Mustard, or no, Colonel Mustard in American
Detective
Nightmare.
Broccolini.
Yeah, Detective Broccolini. So Detective Broccolini, he gets down to the scene and it's just chaos down there. There's just mountains of searchers, media, police, helicopters, everyone looking for Lacey. Detective Broccolini approaches Steve Peterson and introduces himself. He said Scott was really calm, very polite, and answered all of his questions.
Yeah, the detective said that they were on a first name basis, like straight away. And the detective's like, oh, yeah, okay, you can call me Al. You'll be my bodyguard. I will be your long lost pal. I thought you were going to be singing with me.
I have no idea what you're singing.
You can call me Al. You seriously don't know that song?
No.
Fuck me. Let's move
Who
on.
sings it?
I don't know. It's just a famous song. And I'm sorry for all the listeners because I can guarantee you that song's going to be in your head all day now because it has been in my head all week while doing this case. Ever since I come up with that, I'm singing it. And I discussed it with you. I said, let's sing this song. So after all that time, you didn't even know what the song was.
I went, yeah, I'll know it once you start singing it. I've got no idea.
Hell. I'm not a very good singer, clearly.
So Scott tells the detectives that he went fishing all day while Lacey went grocery shopping and walked the dog. When he got home, she, of course, wasn't there. So the detectives, they go through the house and they're just looking for any clues or signs of a struggle that might indicate a possible abduction. Scott leads them into the bedroom and shows them that Lacey's purse is there, along with her wallet inside. They go out to the cars, which are both in the driveway. Detective Al, he notices that in the back of Scott's ute, he has this large blue tarp and a bunch of these big outdoor umbrellas wrapped up on top of it as well. The detective, he thought, this is a bit odd. And Scott says quickly, well, I was fishing all day in the bay and here's my parking receipt if you need proof. So he's already sort of jumping to, here's my proof, here's my evidence.
Alibis.
Yeah, immediately. So inside the car, they find a plastic bag with fishing lures and a fishing license that he'd purchased a few days earlier on the 20th. He apparently told the detective that while he was fishing earlier, when Lacey went missing, he was using this big silver lure. But the strange thing is the detective found this big silver lure inside the car, still in the packet and unused. Detective Broccolini, he wants to leave no stone unturned. So he asked Scott, hey, why don't you take me down to your shop and we can have a look around there? So Scott, he was a fertilizer salesman. So
I knew he was full of shit.
100%, yeah. It's very fitting because his alibi also stinks like shit. So they go down there and it's just wall-to-wall fertilizer. But he's got this boat sitting right in the middle of the shop. And they don't take too much of a look at it at this stage because they're just looking for Lacey. She's just a missing person. So they're not really sort of looking for any finer sort of details like blood or hair fibers, anything like that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Scott being the husband, of course he's going to be suspect number one in the disappearance. So they ask him down to the station if they can have a further chat. Down at the station, Scott tells him that he woke up around 8 a.m. and Lacey was already up and she was watching the Martha Stewart show. And he remembers something about them baking a meringue pie or something like that. Lacey's plan that day was to go shopping and walk the dog. Scott's plan was to go play golf all day, but it was too cold, so he changed his mind and went fishing instead. How is it too cold to play golf, but not too cold to be fishing out on a boat?
Exactly. And I know what I'd rather. Golf has clubhouses and coffee and beer and shit. Like fishing has freezing water and nobody around. It's an interesting choice, and it's a lame excuse for being where like he's setting up this alibi we mentioned earlier. It's really odd. Just if you're going to say that, just say you went out fishing. You don't have to go, I was going to go in golf, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It makes you sound worse.
Exactly, yeah. So he says that around 10 a.m. he drives to a shop to pick up the boat and he sends an email off while he's there. He leaves the shop and he heads straight down to Berkeley Marina, which is about 90 miles away, or around 145 kilometres for anyone in Australia.
Listens, yeah.
Yeah. So once he gets there, he launches the boat and he heads out about a mile into the bay and he fishes there for a little bit before coming back in. Once he's done, he loads up the boat to the trailer and he calls Lacey at 2:15 p.m., both on her home and on her mobile. She doesn't answer, but he leaves a voice message on both phones by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I just said earlier about being sort of before mobile phones. I mean, this is early 2000s, but it wasn't the time that everyone walked around with their mobile phone constantly, because they would have been bricks back then. So it's like you had one, but you just didn't take it with you, or it was off or whatever, Especially if you're going to go walk the dog. You're not taking your brick with you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, beautiful. I just left a message at home. 2:15. I live in Berkeley. I won't be able to get to the Villa Farms to get that basket for Papa. I was hoping you would get the message and go on out there. I'll see you in a bit. We love you. Bye.
Do you find it odd that he said the time during the voice message that he left? Like he was setting up the alibi for that specific time where he was? Or was that just something people used to do back in the day?
No, bloody oath, that's setting up that alibi again.
It was so strange to me.
Yeah, this is one of those things that sounds completely normal unless you already think he did it.
Yeah.
If there wasn't any suspicion around him, you wouldn't think twice. But because there's all these suspicions, like, why is he saying that? It just doesn't sound right. And he's really over the top with the way he's speaking as well. I love you, I miss you. But it's like, okay.
For sure, yeah, he's super, super lovey-dovey in it. I'd love to hear like any other voice messages that he might have left her to see if this was just their style of leaving messages to each other, or if this was a really one-off.
Yeah,
really putting it on.
You do know those couples. You're probably one of those couples for me. It's just really lovey-dovey, makes me sick. But yeah, having that, having a few lined up and go, okay, that's just normal, fair enough. But on the outside, for me, I'm like, ugh, it sounded put on.
Yeah, to me too, it did, yeah. Mm-hmm. Apparently one of Lacey's friends, Heather, said Scott would be super showy when they'd first meet him, and he'd shower people with affection and sort of love bomb them.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how he was. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's when you first meet him. They're married and been together for a while. Who knows if he's still like that, or if the honeymoon's over. You just don't know at this stage.
Yeah. So Scott then says he went back to his shop to drop the boat off at around 4:45 p.m. and then he heads home. When he gets home, the side gate of the house is shut and the dog's running around the backyard with its leash still attached. Apparently one of the neighbours, Karen, found the dog just wandering around the streets and they put it back in the yard and then shut the gate behind her.
On you, Karen.
On you, Karen. Scott goes inside and he calls out for Lacey again, and again, no answer. But he just assumes that she's at her mum's house. He takes off his clothes and he puts them into the washing machine and he does a load of only those clothes. Suspicious?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they smell like fish and he doesn't want to get them on all the other clothes.
It is very fishy.
Very fishy, Scotty. He then gets himself a slice of pizza and a glass of milk, because there's nothing like a big glass of milk after a long day on the bay, right, fellas? Right.
And I know I just can't wait to get home after a long day and do my washing as well. Also, when was the last time you had a glass of milk? I think I might have been 6 years old.
Oh, would have had to mean. Yeah.
It seems like such a childish thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. So after his pink milk with a swirly straw, he takes a shower and decides to call Lacey's mum, Sharon. And this is when he tells her that Lacey's missing. Sharon said they're going to call the police straight away and suggests that Scott goes talk to the neighbours. So he goes to the first neighbours and he tells them he was playing golf all day. And when he got home, Lacey was gone. But when Lacey's parents got there, they overheard him saying that he was playing golf, and their ears pricked up straight away because he told them he was fishing all day. So they questioned him about it, and Scott doubles down and says, no, I was fishing on my boat all day. And they were like, wait, what the fuck? What boat? So no one even knew Scott had a boat or even how long he'd had this boat for. It was a real strange moment for everyone right then, and I think this is when a few of the little red flags started to go up for a couple of people. So back in the interrogation room, the detective, he's talking to Scott for about an hour or so, and he describes him as super duper relaxed. He's got his hands in his pockets, he's leaning back on his chair, just like too fucking cool for school. And this is just another little red flag for Detective Broccolini. So he tells Scott he wants to eliminate him from the suspect pool, and he says, hey, do you want to do a lie detector the following day, which Scott agrees to. So
yeah, I swear it doesn't matter what you do in these interviews. Everything is a red flag. Have you noticed that? Touch your face, red flag. Blink, it's a red flag. Scratch your balls. No, scratching your balls is okay. But it just seems like everything you do in an interview, they're analyzing, and doesn't matter which way you go, it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did see that with American Nightmare last week as well.
Yeah. He might be sitting in his chair relaxed because he's got nothing to fear. He's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, but your wife's still missing.
I know that. I'm just saying. Playing devil's advocate. Don't jump down my throat.
Take your Team Scotty t-shirt off. So the next day, which is Christmas Day now, Scott calls his family and tells them that Lacey's missing. Both of his parents and his brother drop everything and they say, "Where are the wives, Scotty?" I imagine that's how they spoke.
Definitely. Yeah. Fuckwits.
They said they could hear the panic in his voice and he needed their help, so they just dropped everything and went straight down there. Yeah. And it's around about this time that Scott was talking to his dad, and his dad apparently advises Scott not to do the polygraph tests. So then he tells the police that he refuses to take the test, which is fine. And we always say, don't take the test.
Yeah, big advocates for that, yeah.
Yeah, but this is also the time that he pretty much just stops cooperating with the police altogether.
Yeah, that's when it's sus.
Yeah. So while all the searches are going on for Lacey, her friends and family, they're super distraught, as you can imagine. But Scott was seen walking around, joking, having a laugh, and just carrying on like nothing was going on.
You having a laugh?
You having a laugh? A few of them said, it was a bit of a nice distraction with, such a serious matter at hand. But at the same time, it's very inappropriate, and it was just another little red flag for everybody.
Yeah.
The search is still coming up with nothing, and they make a plea for the public for help. Everyone's doing their best to get the word out there, except Scott. He doesn't want to talk to the media, he doesn't want his face on the camera, and he definitely doesn't want any photos taken of him either. And some people in the media, they're like, well, that's odd. Like, you've got to try and find your wife. You try and get out there in front of everybody, as much as you can. But, I mean, everyone deals with grief differently, I guess.
Yeah, he just doesn't come across as a shy guy, though. They would be afraid to get in front of the camera, so...
Definitely not, no.
At a press conference Thursday afternoon, family pleaded for the public's help.
Lacey, if you're out there and can hear us and see us, we love you. And we're searching, we're looking, and we're going to find you.
There's also a police conference held with the chief of police, and I find these interviews really frustrating because they never really give any information that's juicy, do they? Like, just tell us what you know. We want the goss now.
Yeah.
And I just don't see the point of having these unless it's just a statement to say, hey, we're looking into the case. The public is safe. Something along those lines. Say no questions and walk away. It just seems afterwards, it's always reporters badgering the chief or whoever's up there, asking for in-depth question. They want answers to things. They just can never give them anything. I just find that frustrating.
It's frustrating, but you can understand why. They're trying to keep the information close to their chest.
Exactly.
But as you said, just do it as a statement. Here's a photo. Here's the details.
That's
Help.
it. Yeah.
Well, Lacey's mum, Sharon, she was trying to get Scott to talk to her, but he just kept brushing her off and saying he was too busy. Until at one point, Sharon had had enough, and she grabs him by the arm and says, listen, we need to talk. Because up to this point, she hasn't really spoken to him about what the fuck's going on. So they go into the back room of the volunteer centre and ask him why he kept the whole boat thing a secret. He said, I was keeping it as a surprise for Lacey's dad, Ron. And she said, why the hell would you surprise him with that? It's not his boat, it's yours. But Scott just looked at her and didn't respond. Duh.
He has a real duh look about him, doesn't he?
Yeah. She also wants to know why he didn't want to take the polygraph test, and he replied that he was just too upset and he just couldn't take it.
Yeah, he did look really upset, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, between laughing and joking around. So Sharon, she just left it at that, and she understands that he's missing his wife, so he could be acting strange.
Yeah.
But she also did put a little bit of pin in that moment because it was really, really odd and really stood out to her. The detectives, they're also getting a bit of a similar vibe from Scott as well after he refused the polygraph test. So they visit him at his house one evening with a consent form to search his house and also his cars and electronic devices. Scott picks up the form and reads it, and then he says, "You don't expect me to read this without a lawyer, do you?" And this didn't really bother the detectives too much, though, because they already knew he wasn't going to cooperate. They already got a search warrant signed from a judge and presented it straight away. Scott looks at the detective and he goes, "Oh, where's the trust, Al?"
Where's the trust, Al?
And Detective Al Broccolini says, "Mate, we're just trying to find your fucking missing wife. We're trying to help you, pal." Maybe he didn't say fucking or pal, but I added in for extra mustard.
Yeah, dramatizing it.
Yeah. Over the next 2 days, they go through his house and his cars, and they also go down to the shop to search that and also take a closer look at that boat.
Yeah, they show the video walkthrough of it. The police are going through the search warrant, and you can hear Al narrating as he's going through the rooms. Did you notice he fucked up? He walks into the nursery and he goes, "Bathroom."
Does he?
Yeah. It's like, mate, aren't you a detective? Imagine if that made it into the court. Like, detective, how thorough was your search? Well, Your Honor, I did make the mistake of calling the nursery a bathroom.
We know you hate kids, but calm down, fucking Broccolini. So they discovered that he'd purchased the boat on the 9th of December that apparently no one knew about.
Big secret for Ron.
Big secret. Oh, lucky Ron. Guess what? I bought myself a boat.
Cool.
And the day before that, he was searching up bay tides and nothing else to do with fishing, like what bait to use, no fishing reports, just the tides and the currents.
Yeah, and then drive 145 kilometers to take your boat out for the first time.
Yeah,
that's
on
normal.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, very normal. So they find the fishing license that he mentioned earlier, but it's for a 2-day fishing license that he purchased on the 20th, 4 days before he actually took the boat out.
What a naughty boy. He was going to go fishing with a 2 days expired license.
We got you. We got you dead to rights, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Forget about the disappearance and potential murder. 2 days expired fishing license. Fuck me.
Take him down, boys.
Cuff 'em, boys.
They also questioned him on these homemade anchors that he'd made at his shop, which were basically just a bucket of concrete with a hook on top so you could tie a rope to it. They see the anchor inside the boat, but there's no rope anywhere. So obviously this anchor's going to be fucking useless. Or he dumped a different anchor with the rope in the bay and left it there that day. Maybe with something attached to it. Maybe a body, perhaps.
And the problem for Scotty here is that every innocent explanation he seems to have, it just seems to create 2 more suspicious questions for the detectives.
Exactly. Yeah, he hasn't thought this thing out properly.
Not at all.
If he did it, we're not giving
anything away. If he did it, no, not judging.
So the detectives, they actually find evidence that he was making more of these little homemade bucket anchors inside the shop. They could sort of see the outline, all these different buckets.
Yeah.
I think there was up to 5 of them.
I don't know. I'm looking at the photo and he's on, see around here, and he's pointing. They've got the little like evidence numbers by these so-called circles. I couldn't see shit. I'd make the worst detective. I swear to God.
At this point, I was like, I could definitely see them. You're fucking cooked, mate.
I can't do 3D puzzles though either. Like the magic eye puzzles. I think I'm just staring. I try to relax my eyeballs, trying to see through the painting. I can never see it. So
I can't see those either, actually.
Yeah. And you're colorblind.
Yeah. Along with these homemade missing bucket anchor things, whatever you'd call them, they also found a pair of needle nose pliers in the boat. And I know what you're thinking, John. Just a pair of needle nose pliers. No big deal, right? Yeah, just a pair of needle nose pliers. Wrong. Because these pliers had a long black hair wrapped around the end of them. So
yeah, Scott's explanation. Scott's explanation for that is he uses them for masturbation, and the anchors are penis extenders.
Maybe he was one of the BDSM clients from the site.
Yeah, Michaela's on his phone, speed dial.
a warehouse that was searched tonight. Police were moving the boat that he is said to have used on that fishing trip on Christmas Eve day, the same day, as you know, that Lacey disappeared. And tonight, as you say, we've also learned that a neighbor was burglarized sometime after Lacey is said to have been last seen.
Apparently the house directly across from them were away over Christmas and returned on the 26th to find that their front door had been kicked in and their house had been robbed. Thankfully, there was about 1,000 police just standing on the street looking for Lacey. So they pretty much just had to lean out the window and just call for anybody. Been robbed. Been robbed. Been on free. Got a big situation up in here.
Fuck that missing woman. My brand new plates have been taken.
Chaos.
My set of little spoons are gone.
So apparently this family that left on Christmas Eve only around about an hour before Scott apparently last saw Lacey. So this is also another huge potential lead to look into. Like maybe Lacey caught them trying to rob the joint. Maybe they kidnapped her. Huge connection here, huge leap. I know, but that's also something they had to look into.
Yeah, and for me, it's obvious who the burglars were as well.
Oh.
Think about it. It's Christmas time.
Yes.
The wet bandits.
I was thinking, is it not the sticky bandits?
No, I think they were. I think they changed it to the sticky bandits? Or was it? I thought it was the wet bandits.
Oh, okay. And then they changed it to the sticky bandits with the sticky tape on his hands.
Maybe it was the sticky bandits in the second one. I don't know. We're still talking about Home Alone. And I did a Home Alone reference last episode too. Oh, we're showing our age.
They're still classics.
Yeah, they are.
So it's day 6 in the search for Lacey now, and they've received over 11,000 tips from the public. And I mean, of course, they have to follow up on every single lead, of course. But one lead in particular stood out among the others. And this lead was from a woman that claimed to be Scott Peterson's girlfriend. She said they've been dating for a number of months and they speak on the phone daily. This woman's name was Amber Fry. The detectives, they can't believe it. And they say, don't talk to him until we get there. And then they quickly race down to try and talk to Amber in person. Once they get there, Amber tells them that she met Scott through a friend who described him as really easy to talk to, funny, good looking. Really? And apparently this is the real piece of shit part. Apparently he was searching for the right one, even though he was married with a baby on the way.
Such a piece of shit, man.
Oh, he's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
But I think what makes it worse, though, is he was searching for someone else. Like, it would have been very, slyly better if he'd just stumbled on this affair somehow. Both fucking terrible.
Active.
If it was a drunken one-night stand, you say, yeah, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
But for this guy to be going around saying he's searching for, essentially Mrs. Perfect, that's an even bigger fucking slap in the face to Lacey.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So Amber, his other girlfriend, she was a single mum that had graduated from massage school, and they just started off as just chatting on the phone, but eventuated to him stopping in to visit her on his way, to and from work. Their relationship was blossoming, and Scott would come over quite a lot just to chat and fuck. But he was also apparently really good with her young daughter, Ayana. Ayana? Okay, I'll go with that. They would have really, really good chats together, and she'd asked him straight out if he'd been married before, but Scott told her that he hadn't. She also asked if he ever wanted children, and he said, nah, Ayana is more than enough for me. Do we have a piece of shit buzzer for this guy or anything
we
like
need
that we can press?
Yeah, we do need that.
So Scott was just giving no signs to Amber that he was married with the baby on the way. He even went to a Christmas party with her, and he turned up with this big, huge bouquet. I think it was 3 dozen red roses or something like that. So again, he's just love bombing this new one.
That's what he does. Yep.
Yeah. So Scott, he's a bit of a master of deception, and he was always trying to keep these two worlds separate. Until a guy that worked for Scott somehow ran into one of Amber's friends who introduced Scott to Amber. Scott came up in the conversation and the worker mentioned that Scott was married. Then the friend says to Scott, well, if you don't come clean to Amber, I'm going to let her know.
And this is where his behavior earlier after the disappearance starts to make sense for me. I was watching it going, oh, this is a reason why he didn't want to appear in the media, because he didn't want his side piece finding out he's a fucking liar.
Exactly.
That's why he was hiding.
Yeah.
I didn't really get it up until that point. I thought maybe he just thinks he's not a good enough actor to get in front of the cameras. But this is exactly the reason why he was staying away.
100%. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. So around the 9th of December, he goes to Amber's apartment and he says, "Oh, I've got something I need to talk to you about." Scott's visibly upset and his hands are shaking as he sits down with her. He tells Amber that he'd lied when she asked him if he'd been married, and then he breaks down crying. He struggles through his tears and he says that he actually lost his wife and this would be the first holidays without her.
Oh,
Amber feels...
imagine hearing that line back after everything had happened. It's just so chilling because Lacey's still alive at this point. He's said that. So,
Yeah.
like, in hindsight, hearing that now, it's like, fuck, man, that's so chilling.
Yeah, exactly. Amber feels so bad for him and she tries to comfort him the best way she can. But she knows, like, I mean, his wife died. She wants to find out why, but she also doesn't want to pry when he's in such a vulnerable state as well. So she just leaves it at that. They continue to see each other until a few weeks later, she sees a newspaper article. There's not a photo of Scott, like you said, but it describes him down to a T and it has a photo of his missing wife, Lacey.
Pregnant missing wife.
Yes. Amber, she just froze in shock. She just couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe that Scott had been lying to her and using her as a mistress. Worse still, as you said, only a few weeks ago, he told her that his wife died and this is the first holidays without her, and now she's missing. But, I mean, good on Amber. Like, she calls the police straight away. Like, and I know around this time, Amber got scorned for being the other woman in this happy marriage, but she had no idea that he was married. And as soon as she found out about it, she immediately went to the police. So good on her.
Yeah, that's it. I know you said, like, he told her about his dead wife on the 9th of December, right?
Yeah.
And he purchased that boat in secret on the 9th too. Like, I wonder if that's just a pure coincidence or that was the start of his planning.
Oh, that's too much of a coincidence.
That's too much of a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm no longer on Team Scott.
No, take the top off.
Yeah.
What have you got under there? Free Chris Watts?
No, it's a big S painted on my body.
Painted on your body. It's got to support the Scott. So the detectives ask Amber if she's willing to wear a wire and record the phone calls with him. She agrees to do it, which I was actually really surprised at. Me personally, I reckon I'd be way too nervous. I'd give it away for sure. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'd love to do it.
Really?
I think it'd be so exciting. Yeah, I'd froth it for sure.
Now I'm going to
Just
be
entrapping
suspicious of our
someone.
phone calls.
You should be.
I'd be terrible. Oh, hi, Jamie, you're looking good.
You're looking good. Tell me more about that missing wife of yours.
So apparently Scott had told Amber he was going away over this holiday period and they had to sort of book in times so they could speak on the phone. But, I mean, more like so that he could organise to speak to her in a private setting or in secret. He told her that he was going to be in Alaska with his family for Thanksgiving, then in Maine for Christmas, and then after that he'd be in Paris for New Year's Eve.
You a naughty boy.
Sucker bleu.
So Scott calls Amber on New Year's Eve from, in quotes, Paris, which she records.
Hey, Happy New Year. I wanted to call you.
Thank you.
Amber, you there?
I'm here.
Amber,
I wish you could hear me.
I'm really at the tower. New Year's celebration is unreal. The crowd is huge. Amber, you're there. I can't hear you right now, but I'll call you on your New Year's.
Okay, I'll hear from you then.
Amber, miss you. See you soon.
Okay. I hope.
But of course, we know he's not in Paris when he made this call. Where he was actually the candlelight vigil for Lacey.
That's so fucked up. This bloke's pretending to be in Paris while standing at his missing wife vigil. That's just disgusting, man. And it lacks any sense of remorse whatsoever.
Definitely, yeah. The whole time Amber knew that he was lying to her, just through his fucking slimy little smile of his.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like a fucking sleazy car salesman. So Amber, what would it take to put me in you tonight, baby?
You've been waiting to use that one for a while, I can tell.
It's one of my go-tos.
Yeah, I can tell.
So far, 0 success rate.
Yeah. I'm 0 for a million, but I'm going to keep using that line.
So Amber kept recording all these phone calls between them, and she got better at it. She was just getting less nervous, and she was, doing a really good job at keeping them talking because she knew how important it was going to be to try and find Lacey.
Yeah, and to hold herself together, to pretend like she's interested. But hearing the phone calls in the documentary, you can hear the clear difference between the first phone calls you hear between them, where she's putting on that sexy baby voice, and her demeanor in these ones. She's a lot colder. Yeah, I can sense it. She's struggling to keep the facade going as good as she's doing.
I hate the fucking
sexy
baby talk. It's like, shut the fuck up. Why would I want to try and date someone that sounds like a child? That's so fucking gross.
I don't get it either. But we're not hating on Amber because she's great.
Yeah, she is great. Yeah. Just the voice.
Just the sexy baby voice.
So what do you want to be together with me?
Obviously, I thought that I'd date somebody wonderful together. I could care for you. Yeah, everybody.
And I
was trying to find out if we care for each other.
Police now decide that they're going to put a phone tap on Scott's phone because, he could be talking to multiple people and just telling various amounts of bullshit stories to anybody. Also, the police have managed to track down the two burglars that robbed that house across the road from Lacey and Scott. And these two winners of life are 46-year-old Donald Pierce and 37-year-old Stephen Todd. These guys were local criminals just trying to fund their drug habits. But when they found out that they were being looked at as suspects for Lacey's disappearance, they were very cooperative. They were like, whoa. Yeah, we robbed the house, but we fucking didn't do anything to Lacey. Nope. Not us. No. They said that they reckon they robbed the house on the 27th of December, which is not possible because there would have been swarms of police just fucking everywhere.
Yeah, and the neighbours were back by then, so it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, these guys are just, fucking local druggies. Yeah. They're unemployed. But who cares if it's a fucking Tuesday or a Sunday to them,
Yeah.
So the police, they end up working out that they most likely robbed the house very early on the 26th, which would have ruled them out for Lacey's disappearance because she obviously went missing on the 24th. Apparently the robbers, they remember seeing some media vans down the street while they were robbing the house, and they just thought it was just more interesting than anything. And then that's how they kind of worked out that timeline. They even actually begged the police for a polygraph test because they wanted to prove to the inmates in prison they had nothing to do with Lacey's disappearance.
Imagine that in prison. It's like a job interview. It's like, hey, I'm John. Here's my resume. I've got references in there too. I think you'd be pleased to know there are no kid or vulnerable women stuff in there. Yes, I did get my dick out and I was 50 meters away from primary school, but I was taking a piss. Are we cool? We cool?
I think you'd be pleased to know. Very formal. So these guys, they both passed a polygraph test and all the stolen items were recovered, and it didn't include a single piece of evidence that would tie them to Lacey.
Scott's family really hanging on to this, aren't they? As this being the one bit of evidence that makes Scott innocent, and these guys definitely had something to do with it. Scott is innocent. These two did it. Case closed.
Exactly, yeah. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like they're the only ones that think these two guys had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
The police also find out some info from Lacey's mum and her doctor that she'd been having these dizzy spells when walking, and had thrown up a couple of times while out on walks. So she was under strict instructions not to go for walks, and she did actually stop going for them, or at least not as often or not as long.
Yeah, and especially with a big doofus golden retriever. I know what they're like to bloody walk with. Fucking nightmare. Like 33 weeks pregnant, I think you said, and dragging a big dog like that around. Yeah, not smart. So, yeah, another piece that just doesn't add up. It's bad for Scott.
So there were actually a couple of people that saw a pregnant lady walking the dog that morning, but none of them could identify Lacey as the person that they saw. The cloud of suspicion has grown larger and larger over Scott's head, and the police hold a press conference asking for anyone that saw Scott or his boat that day when he was out on the marina. Even Lacey's mum said after the first week, she thought he did it. She created a bit of a pros and cons list if he'd done it or not, and she said the list for the guilty outweighed the list of the innocent by far. The police are obviously suspecting Scott also, but they'd only had circumstantial evidence up to this point. But they bring him into the station to have another chat. They sat down at the desk and the detective slides over a photo of him and Amber at this Christmas party. But what they'd done quite smartly is they'd run it through a fax machine first, and they said they received it as a tip because they didn't want to throw Amber under the bus for giving it to them. He looks at it for a second and fucking cool as a cucumber. He goes, "You don't think this is me, do you?"
Love this trick from the detectives so much. Take a crystal clear image and reduce the quality to trap him in a lie. That is so good. And I know they'll try not to throw her under the bus, but that's such a good move by detectives because he couldn't deny it if they showed him this crystal clear image at all.
Yeah.
Just they gave him that little bit of an out, and he just keeps digging himself and
just keeps hanging himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a few days after this, he actually calls Amber again.
I don't want to do this on the phone. No, I want to tell you this. I'm going to one person tell you this.
What are you talking about?
The worst thing. And I'll tell you.
Okay.
You haven't been watching the news. How I just react.
Well?
I have not been traveling during the last couple of weeks. Why have I lied to you when I've been traveling?
Okay.
The girl I got married to, her name is Lacey.
Mm-hmm.
She disappeared just before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
For the past 2 weeks, I've been in the dog cell. With her family and I, searching for her.
You told me you'd lost your wife and this was the first holidays you'd spend without her? That was December 9th. You told me this, and now all of a sudden your wife's missing? Are you...
Yeah, I said that I lost my wife.
Yes, you did.
I did, and yes.
How did you lose her then, before she was lost? Explain that.
The different kinds of loss, Amber.
Then explain your loss.
I can't see now. For me, the bad to be dealing with her disappearing. Ever easily fed.
Well, let's see. How can I believe that? How can I believe that? How could I believe anything for it?
I am not evil like that.
I am just such at a loss right now.
I know.
You say you can't tell me. You want to tell me in person. At what point are you going to tell me in person, Scott?
Once we find her.
What was that?
Once we find her.
Once we find her, what?
Your lodge will be any resolution, and I will be that I will be able to explain everything to you.
So he's still keeping up with this facade that Lacey's just missing and that she'll be back soon. But Amber's hammering him, which is great. Like, she probably felt relieved that she could drop the loving act and, find out exactly what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, just drop the sexy baby talk. Talk normal now.
No, Scotty, you're
a fucking son of a bitch.
You transitioned so easily there. That was scary.
So it's day 15 of the search now, and the search is really focusing on the San Francisco Bay near the marina that Scott took his boat out on. They've got numerous boats with detectives and dive teams out on the water just searching for anything. Meanwhile, they've also put a searching device on Scott's car. They can see that he drove to the Berkeley Marina and he stays there watching for like 2 to 3 minutes and then he drives away. But he comes back a further 4 times just to watch the search from a distance. He never approaches the police. He never says anything to them. He just watches from a nearby spot, almost just sussing out the areas that the police are searching.
Yeah, and most innocent husbands would probably be asking, if like, do you need my help? What do you need me to do? But
Definitely.
Scott's just watching from afar like he's Brian from the Gabby Petito case.
Yes.
Except he's not a bald fucker. He's got a
Yeah.
good head of hair, unfortunately.
He does do something to his hair later on, which we'll get to.
Oh, yes.
So, to make matters worse for old Scotty boy, the newspapers have leaked the information along with a photo of Scott's affair with Amber. And it seems to be the last straw for Lacey's family, who, to this point, were standing by him.
Scott, no friends.
Scott, no friends. Good one, Dad.
Thank you.
For the first time, the parents of a missing California woman are voicing suspicions about their son-in-law. They say Laci Peterson's husband lied to them about an affair with another woman.
They believe that he has lied to them about this and possibly other things as well. The family is asking Scott to tell everything he knows and to fully cooperate with the Modesto Police Department.
Scott just keeps trying to downplay it and get out of shit that he's been found out on. It's like he refers to the affair here with Amber as an encounter. That's how he referred to the whole affair. I mean, it was so much more than that. Just fucking admit it. You've been caught.
Yeah. He's taken tips from Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
It's just an absolute media frenzy now. As you could imagine, they're hounding Amber and they're asking her about the affair.
The encounter, you mean? Sorry.
Yes, the encounter. And also if she was part of Lacey's disappearance. She couldn't go to work. She couldn't even leave her house. So the police they end up holding a press conference for Amber to tell her side once and for all.
Okay, first of all, I met Scott Peterson November 20th, 2002. I was introduced to him. I was told he was unmarried. Scott told me he was not married. I am very sorry for Lacey's family and the pain that this has caused them. And I pray for her safe return as well.
Amber was shaking like a leaf up there, wasn't she? She was holding the papers. She's like, I just felt so sorry for her, poor thing. She looked really young as well. And you can see she's got a kid. She just wants to date a nice guy. And now she's thrown into all this. She didn't ask for any of it. And she wasn't a mistress. What she was doing is not the definition of a mistress. She had no
not
idea
at all.
that he was married.
Yeah. As you said, all she wanted to do was go on a date with a nice person. And now she's fucking thrown in front of the media. Oh, God, fucking poor thing. So after she'd finished speaking, a few of Lacey's friends wanted to talk to her. And they actually all came up to her and they thanked her for everything that she was doing. But even after this press conference, Scott was still calling Amber, saying how proud he was of her to get up in front of everyone and speak. Yeah. He said when he heard her cry, he had to pull his car over to the side of the road and throw up. Yeah. You're making me fucking throw up, Scott.
Is he trying to impress or seduce her here? It's like, yeah, baby, I threw up.
Yeah.
Turned on.
Do the baby voice while I throw up.
He's drinking milk and he's spitting up on himself.
Daddy needs another bib. Oh, God, I'm getting too many visuals.
Same.
Oh, God. So the police, they're finding out that they're not really getting much more information from Scott from these phone calls. So they tell Amber that she can finally stop with him if she likes. And she effectively breaks up with Scott on the phone saying, listen, I don't think we should talk anymore until a resolution is found. That same day, Lacey's family hold a press conference of their own and they announce that they no longer are standing behind Scott. Her brother Brent said that Scott is no longer communicating with anyone in Lacey's family and not cooperating with the police, so they have no choice to not support him any further. So in case everyone wasn't already turned on Scott, they definitely are now. Like the media, they're chasing him down the streets and they're asking him why he had an affair, and they're really suspicious about why he'd go to the marina that day when his wife was at home pregnant on Christmas Eve. Scott decides that he probably should say something from his side because his silence is only hurting him. So he agrees to do a sit-down interview with Diane Sawyer.
Yeah, but also the cat's out of the bag now in regards to Amber. So he's just like, oh, fuck, I'll start doing media now.
Yeah.
I'm caught.
Busted.
I think everybody sitting at home wants the answer to the same question. Did you murder your wife?
No. And I had absolutely nothing to do with her disappearance.
He finally decides to go on a little media tour, and he told Diane Sawyer that he told me on Christmas Eve about Amber. Well, that was a lie.
Told the police immediately.
When?
That was the first night together. The police, I spent with the police.
You told them about her?
Yeah, from December 24th on.
Did your wife find out about it?
I told my wife.
There wasn't a lot of anger?
No.
Do you really expect people to believe that an 8.5-month pregnant woman learns her husband has had an affair and is saintly and casual about it? Accommodating, makes a peace with it?
Well, you don't know. No one knows our relationship but us.
Mate, this guy's a fucking dickhead. Who is going to believe that his 8.5-month pregnant wife is going to be totally fine with him having an affair?
Mate, every answer somehow made him look more suspicious than the previous answer. He looked so dodgy throughout all this. And you can tell Diane, she's like, fuck, this guy did it.
Oh, exactly right, yeah. And Scott must have agreed or heard feedback on it as well, because he decides to go on further damage control and do another interview. And this time he invited reporters into his house and he gave them specific time slots for their interview, and they all must remove their shoes before entering. But I did notice during the interview that he had his shoes on, but he wouldn't let the media have their shoes on. Like, was this just a power move, or does he have inside-only shoes? Either way, he's fucking creeping me out, John.
He's creeping me out too. It's like he wouldn't let the reporters wear shoes. Meanwhile, we're wondering whether he's wearing a conscience. And it's like, man, I just crime scene cleaned the carpets. Do you mind taking your shoes off?
Why didn't you just come forward at the time when I asked you if you had a girlfriend? Why didn't you just come clean then?
Yeah, right. At that time, it wasn't appropriate to comment about because it's not relevant. You've taken a lie detector test? Well, the polygraph is another one of those things. I'm not saying I have, I'm not saying I haven't. That's within the scope that the investigators asked me not to speak about. I told Lacey about the relationship. I want people looking for Lacey because they're not doing that right now. That's why I'm sitting now with you.
What's your level of cooperation in this?
Oh, it's complete. I know the Lacey's family doesn't feel that. And that's unfortunate. I had nothing to do with Lacey's disappearance.
Tell me what you love about Lacey.
God, what now? I think you can sum it up pretty easily with looking at her photograph. The photograph's a big smile in the press.
It just seemed so disconnected. Like, you can't tell me what you love about Lacey?
Or just being able to complete each other. That's it.
You could tell. He just didn't have the words. And I thought, wow, that's telling.
The resounding response from these new interviews is that he came across fake and not genuine at all. Even one of the interviewers left thinking there was no doubt in her mind that Scott killed Lacey after that interview. The police also seem to agree, and they issue a second search warrant for Scott's property. Not only were they searching for new clues or evidence, but they're also going to pay special attention to what changes Scott had made to the house from the first search compared to this one, which I thought that was quite smart. I didn't realize they might do that.
Yeah.
He'd put a lot of her things in boxes. Get this, he'd already sold her car, and then he made inquiries to put the house on the market. What if she was actually missing and then she came home like fucking what's-her-face in American Nightmare, just casually walking down the street, and then all of a sudden an Asian family opens the door. No, Scott here. And then even during the sit-down interviews, he told them that he couldn't bring himself to go into the baby's nursery, but he'd turned that into a fucking storage room.
Mate, everything you just said, and nothing says I'm more confident she'll be home soon, like converting the nursery into a fucking storage cupboard. He knows she's not coming back. This whole thing. He's making bad move after bad move, making himself look more and more guilty. But in his mind, I think he's just that narcissist. He thinks he's sitting pretty. They got nothing on me.
Definitely. Yeah. He thinks he's the smartest one in the room for sure. So the police, they're building a pretty good case against him. Like, he predicted his wife was going to go missing 2 weeks before she actually did. He'd made these definitely 5 anchors that you don't seem to agree on, but they could only find one. Her hair or his pube was wrapped around a pair of pliers inside the boat that no one seemed to know that he owned.
Surprise, Ron.
So they want to take him down, but the DA said, well, bring me a body or you don't have a filing. The police keep searching the marina in the Bay Area, and on the 14th of April, so 111 days later, they find Lacey's body near Brooks Island, not far from the Berkeley Marina.
Just this afternoon, a badly decomposed body was found near Point Isabel in Richmond. And last night, the body of a male fetus was found just a few miles away, if that far. Gloria Gomez joins us live from the scene with more on this developing story. Gloria?
Paul, this could be a major break in the Laci Peterson case. I can tell you the investigators from Modesto PD are here. We, of course, will be here, Paul, and bring you the very latest when we have it.
Lacey's torso had washed up to the shore, and the unborn baby Connor was about a mile away. The lead detective couldn't believe where she'd been washed up, because Scott told him on day one of this investigation that he took his boat to Brooks Island and back. The police believe that he strangled or suffocated Lacey inside the home, wrapped her up in a tarp, dragged her through the house, which is all tiled except for a rug at the front door, but even that was a bit scrunched up when the police came in. They think he placed her in the back of the truck, put the outdoor umbrellas on top of her to cover her up, let the dog out of the gate with a lead attached to form part of his alibi. He went to the warehouse to get the boat and the anchors, drove to the marina, launched the boat with Lacey inside, took it to Brooks Island, tied the anchors to her, and pushed her overboard, hoping she'd never resurface. They get a warrant for his arrest, and they check on the tracker that they'd put on his truck earlier, or his little truck, as the detective likes to refer to it as. And they find out that he'd taken off to San Diego to see his family, and this was on the same day that literally hundreds of people were leaving teddy bears and flowers at his front door because the bodies had been discovered. And while everyone was mourning them, Scott was planning to spend the rest of the day golfing to try and relax.
I think you underestimate how relaxing golfing is. It's not frustrating at all.
So the police are following him in their cars, and they've also got a helicopter tracking him. Scott actually thinks it's the media, and he takes off like a bird out of hell. And he actually spends the next couple of hours trying to shake them, and he does lose them, and he drives off to the golf course. But the police, they rock up right behind him, and they jump out of the car. Once Scott jumps out, he dyed his hair and his goatee blonde to try and disguise himself.
Oh, it looked terrible. And innocent guys don't just do a last-minute bleach job, do they?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. And they reckon he did it to look more like his brother.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So Princess Di Job, he jumped out of the car, and they find $15,000 in cash, 4 cell phones, several knives, a shovel, a rope, a cooking grill, an axe, snorkeling gear, multiple credit cards for himself and also other family members, and his brother's ID. As you mentioned, he was trying to look like his brother. And along with all those things, a bottle of Viagra. What has this guy got planned? He has snorkeling gear, an axe, and Viagra. What the fuck is going on?
At what point does your boot stop looking like a holiday luggage and start looking like an Escape starter pack with added bonus?
Yeah, with added bonus. So the police, they're all too aware that he was only 30 minutes away from the Mexican border with his brother's ID, and it seemed like he was going to try and jump the border and run for shore.
No, Scott, no.
So they bring Not So Slim Shady back down to Modesto, and it's about a 5 to 6 hour drive. They all stop off for a quick bite to eat at In-N-Out Burger.
I'm sure there's another Viagra joke here.
He was just sitting there in the restaurant like Garth. Swing, swing. So Scotty Boy, or what are we going to call him now with his bleach hair?
Oh, I think Slim Shady was good.
No, it's Not So Slim Shady.
Not So Slim Shady.
Yeah. Or Princess Di Job.
Princess Di Job's pretty good.
Yeah. Either way, fuckhead tells the detectives that he wants a double cheeseburger, fries, and a vanilla shake, please. The detective said, this is just fucking more red flags.
Because he's now English?
Yeah. You know my accents are universal. They just flow. Like, I don't know what comes out. And the detective, he's like, what the fuck? Like, Scott showed zero emotion for his wife and baby's body being discovered and being arrested for their murders. Like, no one would be able to eat under these conditions. And Scott just doesn't fucking give a shit.
Yeah, the red flags are piling up, aren't they?
Oh,
and then
for
he put
sure.
fries inside of his burger. Big red flag.
You don't like that?
No, I
Oh,
like
my
that.
wife does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She did it.
Sorry for that sexy cop, everybody. I'm back.
I'm turned on. Now talk like a baby.
A sick baby. So, as the police arrive back in Modesto? Yeah.
Yeah.
As the police arrive back in Modesto with Scott, there's so many people lined up on the side of the road, and they're all cheering that he's finally been arrested. They want to see this fucking villain being burned at the stake. Scott manages to get this big-name defense attorney from LA named Mark Geragos. Yeah, I don't know why I stumbled through that. It's so obvious. Mark Geragos, who got people like Michael Jackson, Winona Ryder, Chris Brown, Mike Tyson, Hunter Biden, and the Menendez brothers, and heaps more too. He was fucking a big shot.
He really represents nice people.
Yeah, the best of the best.
Yeah.
Amber, she also knows that she's going to be dragged through the mud in this trial too. So she gets herself a lawyer. She hires Gloria Allred, who is another high-profile defense lawyer, and she's supported and defended many women in the past, including Nicole Brown Simpson and also 2 of Tiger Woods' mistresses.
Yeah, say what you want about Gloria, but I think she's great. So
Oh,
she's been
for
such
sure.
a awesome advocate for women, and she doesn't just take on the celebrity cases. Like, she's represented thousands of women who say they've been abused or like harassed or treated unfairly. She's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, it's people like Amber and the Tiger Woods mistresses, they're the ones that are going to be trying to be used as a scapegoat and dragged through the mud in the trial, of course.
Yeah.
So it's so good that someone's standing up for them and saying,
That's right. And also she was doing it pro bono.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, good on her.
Yeah.
She did get the exposure, but good on her.
Yeah. There is something in it for her, let's be honest.
Well, the judge, he agrees that there's no way in hell that Scott's going to get a fair trial in Modesto. So they actually decide to move it to San Mateo County.
It's taken months to get to this point, but jury selection has finally started in Scott Peterson's murder trial.
The judge told prospective jurors that they'll know within an hour whether they'll be sitting on the Peterson case that is now set to start on June 1st.
Scott's defense comes out and they say he is stone cold innocent and there's no direct evidence connecting Scott to the deaths. All the prosecution have is circumstantial evidence and are unable to provide where the crime took place, when the crime took place, or even how the crime occurred. So this defense team, they're pretty good, I reckon. The prosecutors, on the other hand, they lay out all the circumstantial evidence piece by piece, and they really focus on all of Scott's lies and him not being able to keep his story straight. They seem really up against it because they're just 2 local DA prosecutors up against this whole fucking team from LA. And the defense team, they were doing a really good job at shutting down any of the prosecutors' arguments. They even tried to intimidate the witnesses while up on the stand. At one point, the detective for the case is up there, and he's asked a question by Mark Geragos. The detective, he looks towards the jury to answer all the questions, but Geragos screams at him and he says, "You look at me when I'm talking to you," and he yells that he's scared. They're really trying to drag the cops through the ringer, and they're doing a pretty good job trying to make them look dodgy and incompetent.
Yeah.
The prosecution, they bring up Amber Fry to the stand, and she was so fucking nervous going up there. But she knew she was going up there for Lacey and her unborn child and to be a voice for them more than anything else. Amber held her head up high and she even managed to get under the defense attorney's skin on a few occasions, which she found funny recalling.
She enjoyed that.
They actually play their audio recordings and it actually works really well in helping people see her in a different light because up until this point, she was just known as mistress to them.
You're telling me that we're... I asked, is there anybody else? Oh, no, I'm monogamous as far as I'm concerned.
I never cheated on you. I never did.
You're married. How do you figure you never cheated on me? Explain that one to me.
Well, I want to explain to Amber.
And? You were...
I can't.
The jury found these phone calls damning, and they started to see him as a real liar. Because of these phone calls, it showed everyone in the courtroom that he thought he would be free to continue on his life with Amber after all this shit. Like, the media and the family involved were just fucking forget about the disappearance like it never happened. To them, this told them his actions were planned and premeditated homicide. So this jury, made up of 6 men and 6 women, deliberate, and they end up coming to a verdict.
There is a verdict in the Scott Peterson trial, and it will be announced at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
We're going to have a live audio feed of the verdict in this case.
There's a huge gathering of folks from the public that have gathered.
State of California versus Scott Peterson. We, the jury in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Scott Lee Peterson, guilty of the crime of murder of Laci Peterson. We, the jury in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Scott Lee Peterson, guilty of the crime of murder.
The courtroom was dead silent as they read the verdict of guilty, but they could all hear the screams and cheers from the crowd outside on the streets, all celebrating Scott Peterson finally being found guilty of Laci and Connor's murder.
Why are people so heavily invested in these cases? As we sit here doing a podcast on the case. But the difference is we're not sitting outside a courtroom cheering and hollering over a verdict or a sentencing. I just find it really odd. People get so passionate about these cases that they have no direct involvement with. It's
odd,
like a
isn't it?
drama. It's like TV for them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like a sporting team. Go defense.
Exactly right.
Defense.
You got the S, the C, the O, the double T on the painters on their chests. Go support the team.
So this same jury, they're also going to determine if Scott receives the death penalty or not. During this hearing, Laci's mum was able to stand up and address Scott directly with her impact statement. During her reading, apparently there was not a dry eye in the room.
Many in the room began to cry as Laci's mother, Sharon Rocha, asked if Laci knew she was being murdered. Then she imagined Laci's unborn baby begging for its life, saying,
"Daddy, please don't do this to me. Please, there's another way."
One of the other things she said, the fact that you no longer wanted Laci did not give you the right to murder her. She was my daughter. I trusted you, and you betrayed me. You betrayed everybody.
The jury hands down their decision on Scott's sentencing and come back with death.
Yes.
Bow, bow, bow.
Man, and that's pretty much the end of the documentary, isn't it? And one of the most shocking facts about this case, and they mentioned this briefly in the documentary, but that in the United States, homicide has been found to be the leading cause of death during pregnancy and the postpartum period. It's like more common than any single pregnancy-related medical complication like hemorrhage, preeclampsia, or sepsis. And in most of these homicides, the killer is a current or former intimate partner. So that doesn't mean that most pregnant people die by homicide, though. Pregnancy is overwhelmingly safe, and maternal deaths, they're really rare. It just means that among the relatively small number of deaths during pregnancy and shortly after, homicide exceeds any individual medical case.
That's crazy. If you said, what's the top 5 causes of death for pregnant women, that wouldn't even be in the top 5.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Wouldn't have put it in the list.
I would have thought just giving birth would have been number 1.
Yeah.
Like complications through giving birth, not fucking homicide. That's crazy. It made me so sad when I read that. And I looked into it because almost like, is that true? So I did some research on it, and so, sure enough, it's true.
Far out.
That's
That's
shocking.
unbelievable.
Yeah. What did you think about the doco overall, though, mate?
It was really good. I remember I can't remember what it was, but it was years and years ago. I watched a different one about Scott Peterson and Lacey, and after that one, I felt 50-50 on it.
Okay.
But then watching this one, I felt
more
like
on Scott's favourite.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It answered a lot more questions that I had from the first lot. And it I know we said at the start, it was like, we're going to give you all the information and you decide. But whether it did that or not, I don't know. But it definitely leaned towards the Scott's guilty side.
Oh, absolutely. And even though they had Scott's family members involved in the documentary as well, his sister and his sister-in-law, I was thinking, gee, I wonder why they're on this documentary, and that they just kept hammering on about he's been innocent, and how they're going to find that he's going to get his freedom one day, and about these burglars being the one that did it, and that has to be it. They just can't see in their eyes that the sweet Scott that they know and they grew up with was capable of doing something like this.
Yeah.
So
I know
I
his sister-in-law.
understand
Yeah, I know his sister-in-law. I think she's studying law, and she's now a lawyer trying to get Scott out.
Yeah, it's nuts. She got no hope, and unfortunately, so his sentencing would have been in the mid-2000s, and he got death. But unfortunately, we find out as well that it's been commuted now. He's just doing life without parole.
Yeah.
We talk about this fucking death sentence stuff.
Sorry, I was holding on to that for like 15 seconds.
That's all right. Yeah, it just sucks. Like we spoke about it maybe last episode, the maternal instinct about we do wonder if she's just eventually she'll just get off death row and then she'll do life without parole. It's like eventually it's going to get to the point where they just scrap the death penalty altogether.
Yeah,
because it seems to be useless.
Yeah, but the thing that annoys me, like, I mean, I understand from Scott's family's point of view, like, because they asked him point blank, obviously, did you do this? He would have said, no, I promise I didn't do it.
Yeah.
If he did do it, it's like his family have dedicated their lives to get him off.
Yeah.
Like, what a piece of shit if he really did do it, and now his family are just absolutely obsessed with proving his innocence.
Yeah.
Where he's sitting there knowing that he did it all along. If he did it. Like, I mean, he still claims his innocence.
And the FBI agent in American Nightmare says that to Aaron as well, saying, oh, your family's going to support you through all this, and you're going to make them look really bad. We know you did it and all that. So, yeah, but he's just such a narcissist. There's no way. He's not even thinking about them. He's thinking about number one. He's hoping he's going to get out one day. And that's why he's still maintaining his innocence. He's not just gone, you know what, I'm going to be here for the rest of life. He hasn't come to terms with it. He's gonna fight it till his last breath, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know about you, but the whole time watching the doco, I couldn't help think about how similar it was to the Chris Watts case. I'll list a lot of the similarities. Okay, like missing pregnant wife, both had this perfect husband image, both were having affairs, both lied almost immediately. Media interviews backfired. There's this calmness about them after disappearance. They both had secret future plans with this other woman. They both didn't want a baby. There were so many, and both cases were almost decided in the court of public opinion long before the trial. And this one as well, like this, the judge deciding, okay, we can't do it in Modesto, we're going to do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But there's so many things. I feel like I'm watching the Chris Watts case.
Oh, and it'd be hundreds and thousands of cases exactly the same.
Yeah, that's right. Mate, I hope there's a special place in hell for these fucking monsters.
And do they not know divorce is an option?
Yeah.
You don't fucking have to kill them.
Oh, no. And that's the thing. Like, the more we cover these, it's like the more you notice they're just ordinary people making unbelievably selfish decisions because they can't face divorce or debt or just the consequences of telling the truth. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Man, it's fucked up.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of fucked up cases, what do we have next week for the listeners?
Oh, mate, we've got a really good one. I've been following this case for a long time. When it first came out, I was fascinated by it, and they've finally done a documentary on it. And this one is the Scream Murders.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, Johnson.
So you were aware of a tape? Did you?
We were told that there was a videotape. Yes.
Today's 9:50, September 22nd, 2006.
The video will never make sense to me, and I will never understand where it came from.
There should be no law against killing people.
Friends don't kill friends.
Hello, Cassie. I'm getting you on tape, okay?
Just something that you cannot unsee.
The crime was committed in a house out in the middle of nowhere.
She's gonna be around a big dark house. How far can you get?
There was blood spatter. She was stabbed to death.
And then we found evidence that's gonna help us solve this crime.
Bloody clothing, knives, scary Halloween masks.
The thing we didn't expect to find was a videotape. Could this be video evidence of the homicide?
I'm sorry, Cassie's family.
He's gonna die.
These two boys stabbed this girl 30 times and are videoing their glee.
Just killed Cassie. I mean, we're by so fast. Not really any warning signs. And if there were, I wish I would have seen them because I didn't.
Was just unimaginable. Obviously, I could never watch it again.
There was a list. They weren't done.
They were seeking me out as well.
Somebody's outside my window. Who's watching me? They were really into horror movies. They were trying to recreate Scream.
We're gonna be just like Scream. Kill them one by one.
You have a call from Idaho Maximum Security Execution.
Is there any topic that's off limits for you? No. Why, Cass?
There's no explanation, just misery.
I just really want my own children. I always tell them to choose their friends wisely.
Oh, great job today, mate. I really enjoyed this episode. And if you are enjoying the show, please do what we always say, like, subscribe, do all the things. I want to give a really big shout out to those people who took the time and have been following us and been sharing, because we've noticed our analytics have bumped up a little bit in the last couple of weeks. So we know that you guys are spreading the word, and that's huge for us. Yeah. The word of mouth and discovery is the hardest thing about podcasting. So you doing that one little thing that takes you 2 seconds really goes a long way for us. The other little thing you can do, if you don't mind, is to support the show and getting on coffee.com, where we've put a link in our bio and on the episode description as well. So if you've got a few bucks to throw away, just throw it at us. Throw coins at us. We don't care. We'll cop a few bruises.
We'll catch them in our mouths like clowns.
I'm going to screenshot that. You don't know how good I am at Photoshop. Anyway, well, until next time, Chris, try not to murder anyone.
You too, mate. All right. Love you.